Welcome friends in our Panasonic robot training how to use the Teach-Pendent. This is the part 25 and today we discuss a new topic, input output settings, and in this firstly we discuss about user input output signals. User input output terminals are used to connect with another system equipment to exchange signals. Input terminals receive signals from the robot while output terminals send signals from the robot. Users can connect external devices with the user input output terminals freely to input output signals from a program. Aside from this, there is another type of terminals named status input output terminals, tasks of which are fixed. Next is user input output terminal type. User input output terminals are classified into 1, 4, 8, and 16-bit input output multi-terminal types. Here you can see a table. First column for terminal type, second for description type, third for terminal type, fourth for description. I1 hashtag 1 bit input, O1 hashtag 1 bit output, I4 hashtag 4 bit input, O4 hashtag 4 bit output, I8 hashtag 8 bit input, O8 hashtag 8 bit output, I16 hashtag 16 bit input, O16 hashtag 16 bit output. Setting procedure. Here you can see a table. 1 bit user input sets 1 bit input terminal, 1 bit user output sets 1 bit output terminal, 4 bit user input sets 4 bit group input terminal, 4 bit user output sets 4 bit group output terminal, 8 bit user input sets 8 bit group input terminal, 8 bit user output sets 8 bit group output terminal, 16 bit user input sets 16 bit group input terminal, 16-bit user output sets 16-bit group output terminal. Here you can see a image of setting procedure. Here you can see set in out, user in, user out, user in 4, user out 4, user in 8, user out 8, user in 16, user out 16, status input output. Window change key switches the active cursor, user in, close. Terminal name indicates a terminal name. Usage indicates the function allocated to the terminal. Signal logic specifies whether the signal should be positive logic, positive, or negative logic, negative. Change terminal group arranges terminals in groups. Hold specifies whether the output terminal should retain the on state at hold. Emergency stop specifies whether the output terminal should retain the on state at emergency stop. Here you can see two images of user input and user output. In user input, you can see select a name, arrow, 1 bit input, 4 bit input. In case of user output, you can see select a name, 1 bit input, 4 bit input. Next is status in out, dedicated input output terminals to output signals depending on the robot state or to change the robot processes according to the input signal. Status input, dedicated status input terminals. Status input, external servo on input. Description, turn on the servo power from an external device if the following conditions are all satisfied. Condition 1, status output signal, ready output is in on state. Condition 2, mode select switch is set to auto mode. Condition 3, the robot is not denying any input from an external device due to an emergency stop or an error. The input must be processed by the change of the signal state from off to on. The input signal must be kept on for 0.2 seconds or more. If the servo is turned off and back on again within 1.5 seconds interval, the message retry to turn on servo is displayed and the servo won't be turned on. Error release input, turn on this input signal to release the error state of the robot from an external device. The input must be processed by the change of the signal state from off to on. The input signal must be kept on for 0.2 seconds or more. Start input, turn on this input signal to run a program or restart a program in a hold state. The input signal will be ignored in the following conditions. The servo power is off. Mode select switch is not in auto position. Hold input is on. In override state, mode select switch is in teach position. Hold input, turn on this input signal to bring the operating robot into a hold state. Even if the signal is turned off, the robot remains in hold state. To restart the robot, input start input signal or restart input from an external device. Note: while the signal is in on state, restart, manual and trace operations are disabled. Operating mode: if this input signal is turned on, when the mode select switch is not in auto mode, the warning message for the operator to switch to auto mode is displayed on the teach pendant. Turn off the operating mode input or switch the mode select switch to auto mode to clear the message. Teaching mode input: if this input signal is turned on when the mode select switch is not in teach mode, the warning message for the operator to switch to auto mode is displayed on the teach pendant. Either turn off the teaching mode input or switch the mode select switch to auto mode to clear the message. OPR confirm input: in case of using the operation box, turn on this input signal to release the interlock occurred at the time of switching to auto mode. You can also use the auto mode switch on the operation box to release the interlock. Note: the interlock at the time of switching to auto mode occurs if the controller is equipped with the operation box either as standard for UL or CE specification or as optional. It is necessary to complete the management settings for the operation box to enable this input. Please refer to 13.8 operation box on page 181 for details of settings. Next is status output. Dedicated status output terminals. Status output, alarm output. The signal is output when the robot goes in an alarm condition. The servo power goes off. Unless power is turned off, the output signal remains in on state. While this output is on, all other output signals are turned off. Error output. The signal is output when the robot is in an error condition. The signal is turned off when the error is released. Operating mode output. The signal is output in auto mode, including override. Teaching mode output. The signal is output in teaching mode, excluding override. Ready output. The signal is output when the robot is enabled to turn on the servo power. Note: it goes off when the robot is in an alarm condition or when the emergency stop input is on. Servo on output. The signal is output when the servo power is on and also the robot is enabled to start operation. Running output. The signal is output while running a program in auto mode, including override. It is in off state while the robot is in a hold or emergency stop state. It is turned on again when the robot is restarted. Holding output. The signal is output when the running program is stopped in auto mode. The signal is output while the robot is in a hold state due to an error or a hold input. It is turned off when restarted. The signal is in off state while the robot is in an emergency stop state or alarm condition. The output is turned on when the robot goes in ready to operate state after the emergency stop is reset and the servo power is turned on. Note: when the mode select switch is changed to teach position, the signal is turned off. Place the mode select switch to auto position, then turn the servo power on. Then the signal is turned on once the robot goes in ready to operate state. So friends, here we end this session of our Panasonic robot training. Further information we will discuss in our next video.